What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Star Wars podcast. We have a very special episode today, a long-awaited episode. We've had this requested for a while now, and as you can see, Matthew and Rami are dressed for the occasion here. I didn't get the memo, so I'm just in my normal attire. Guys, this one's going to be controversial. There's no way we can win here, right, with the Star Wars audience, with the Star Wars fan base. Let us know what you would have done differently.
You will like and subscribe to our channel.
You will like and subscribe to the channel. We have Matthew on the dark side here and Rami on the light, and I guess I'm the balance. We will see what that means as far as our choices go.
Let me pause you real quick right there and just say that the Chosen One and the Jedi Master is swapped.
Good catch. Good catch.
I don't think a Sith wouldn't see.
Good catch. Maybe I planted it there.
Oh.
Maybe it was my doing.
All right, yeah, so we're ranking all of the Star Wars films that have been released over the years. We basically just have them shuffled, so we're not doing them in any particular order. I just press shuffle, and we're just going to go through and rank them all. Again, this is exciting. We haven't done a video like this, just talking about the movies. Funny enough, the first Star Wars movie that we're going to be ranking here is probably the most controversial one, The Last Jedi. We have had brief discussions about like the prequels as a whole, the sequels as a whole, and the original trilogy as a whole, but we have never, as a collective group, really dived into our in-depth thoughts about these. So I don't know. What do you guys think about The Last Jedi? Because I've got my takes.
Definitely one of the worst Star Wars movies ever created. Even Mark Hamill said that. And that alone should tell you everything about this movie. If the actor acting in the movie said, hey, this was a bad movie, and even I acknowledge that, that should really say something.
He said he fundamentally disagreed with everything that Rian Johnson did to Luke Skywalker. Those were his words.
I don't know. So the thing about The Last Jedi, what sucks is there was a small few of people that actually didn't hate The Force Awakens, Episode 7. And me being one of those few, when I got back into it, I was like, it's not awfully terrible. It's not awfully terrible. But when The Last Jedi came out, it completely just overwrote every single major plot point that was set in Episode 7. Like, it just completely just shit on it. So there was nothing I don't know. I hate Episode 8. It's really bad.
My least favorite part about this movie, and probably one of the biggest things that kind of shat all over the previous movie, was Snoke just died. It was never developed, nothing. There was potential there, and he just died like that. Easy.
Well, another thing this movie overwrote was in Episode 7, Finn is a stormtrooper that gets saved, or basically redeemed, and in a way, when he's being redeemed, or when he's talking to the rebellion, he's talking to them as if we don't need to be killing mindless stormtroopers because the stormtroopers are people. Well, in Episode 8, he says, let's go kick some stormtrooper ass, as if he doesn't care about them. It's so dumb. It's so backwards.
My biggest problem with the sequel trilogy, and we will obviously get into the rest of them, we're talking about The Last Jedi right now, and I do have different takes on each of those movies. This is by far my least favorite Star Wars movie of all time. One, because, again, what Mark Hamill said, he fundamentally disagreed with everything they did to Luke Skywalker in that movie. I believe Rian Johnson had a fundamental misunderstanding of who Luke Skywalker was as a character. It completely negated his story arc in the original trilogy. He goes from being the farm boy to go the hero's journey, the entire story archetype that was based off of. He goes through it. He ends up overcoming his fears, overcoming his challenges, and even learning from Obi-Wan and Yoda, who had kind of at some point separated themselves from the Force. And so he saw what that looked like. There's no way that the Luke from Return of the Jedi would have turned in to the old hermit Luke that we see in The Last Jedi, much less pulled a freaking lightsaber out on his nephew like he
Okay,
was about to
yeah.
freaking slice him up while he was asleep, dude.
Yeah, no,
Even if he sensed some dark side stuff going on with him, like that completely goes against who he was as a character
I
to
was
do something so
I was
impulsive like
talking
that.
about this to my coworker the other day, and I said that verbatim. I was like, how would Luke, the one that redeemed his father being one of the most scariest evil men in the
Yeah.
galaxy,
Yeah.
he redeems his father, and then he has a force vision of his nephew being evil, and he goes all the way into his room and ignites the blade. It doesn't matter if he wasn't going to kill him. He went all the way. I was saying this the other way. It's like cheating on your wife. It's like, you didn't sleep with her, but you went to her house, you hung out with her, you did all the things. You went.
It's a great
But
example.
Same with Luke. He went. He maybe he didn't kill him, but he went in there. He saw the vision. He went in there while he was sleeping, and then ignited the blade. You might as well have
Right.
just chopped his head off right there.
Right.
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
It is. It's so stupid. And if you like, I've read the Timothy Zahn novels, like the Heir to the Empire, like all the stuff with Thrawn, and it's like that's the Luke we should have got. You know what I mean? That version of Luke who was building upon what happened in the original trilogy. He was still like facing challenges and figuring things out, but he was the Luke that we saw at the end of the original trilogy. I hate this movie. I'll be honest. I'm going sand on this one all the way.
Can I add one more thing before we mutually all agree to sand it? I just want to add one thing to everything that Matthew just said, and add this one thing. Yoda, Master Yoda, and Obi-Wan Kenobi sat there and talked about Luke going to redeem Vader. I sense good in him. And you know what Yoda said? Yoda was like, "You're crazy. There's nothing good left in him." And you know what he did? He went there and he redeemed Vader because he believed there was still good in him. He had hope. And that's the whole thing with Luke is he's a guy who has all of this hope and joy for the best outcome. Why would he do that? He wouldn't. And
He's a contrast to the lack of hope that Obi-Wan had at points and the lack of hope that Yoda had at certain points, you know? He was able to learn from them, but also be a contrast to the lack of faith and hope in people.
Right. Luke is the one exception. He's the one that's
Right.
supposed to learn from the Jedi and not do the same, not run it the same way that the old Jedi way did, because he even knew himself it was flawed. But in that way, like, he should be the one that's better than everybody else.
Exactly.
Agreed.
So
I just think it's crazy that one of the smartest Jedis to ever live, Yoda, and he would just be like, "Nah, I'm gonna do it anyways." And then he turns into this movie. He's like, "Nah, I just give up. I'll just throw my dad's lightsaber. I'll just whatever." Yeah. I'm like, "No, that's not."
That was the point in the movie where I was like, something is seriously off here. That was the point when I was like, something's off. When he threw the lightsaber, I was like, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it.
No.
But anyways, yeah, we could record an hour-long episode probably talking about this movie. But are we all on sand here?
Yeah.
Sand
it.
All right.
All the way.
That one's easy enough. Moving on to Attack of the Clones, Episode 2. We all are prequel guys. If you've watched our podcast, if you've been familiar with our content, we are all on the prequel train. We love the prequel Lego Star Wars sets. We all grew up with the prequel, so it makes sense that we have a general kind of appreciation for them. I'll be honest, I have gone back over the last several months and rewatched the first 6 Star Wars movies, and I will say this. People can say what they want about, well, yeah, of course you love the prequels because you were freaking 5, 6, 7 years old and you were a kid and you went and saw it when you were a kid, so there's nostalgia tied to it, etc., etc. I understand that. I get that. But what kind of trumps that for me and kind of negates that argument is that as a 27-year-old, when every time I go back to the prequels and rewatch them, I enjoy them more and more every single time I watch them. It's not like I enjoy them as much as I did when I was a kid. I appreciate and enjoy them even more so. Now, are they perfect? No. Is the writing perfect? No. Is George Lucas the best director of all time? By a long shot, no. But the story, the world building of the prequels, and again, the kind of hero's journey that we see happen. We see there's a lot of tragedy in these movies with Anakin, obviously, and we see the starting point of that in The Phantom Menace, but more so here in Attack of the Clones. And I'm a big fan of this movie. I could talk about this all day, but what do you guys? What are your guys' thoughts on Attack of the Clones?
I will say this about Attack of the Clones. It is one of my favorite movies. And the reason being, this is about as close as we can get to the Darth Vader origin stories. If you're like, tell me his origin story, I'd put on this movie. The reason being, you learn about what Star Wars is all about. It's just a huge love story, and it all goes wrong. Whatever, you find out about his love life, you find out kind of his weaknesses, or like his dark side, like tendencies, like killing a bunch of Tusken Raiders because of his mom. You kind of like you get to see everything that kind of starts it all. The Clone Wars, you get to see the start of the Clone Wars. I understand that people who watched it in theaters probably didn't like it as much at the time, but now there's so much context for these movies that it almost like makes sense. It's a lot better now that there's like Clone Wars in between, a whole 7 season show that you can watch, and that's what happens in between Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith. I love this movie. I love the love story between Padme and Anakin. I love, you know, the Battle of Geonosis. I love all of it. One of my favorite Star Wars movies of all time.
Yeah, and I'll say this too about the writing. Like, people complain about the writing of these movies, and I've heard over the years of seeing people talk about the prequels. It's like, well, nobody talks like that. Like, nobody actually would say this. But I'm like, you're basing that off of the world that we live in, right? Of course, we're not going to talk like someone who is from a different freaking galaxy. They're humans, but they're not like they're not like from our world, Earth, like any of that context. You know what I mean? So of course they're going to talk different than us. Anyways, that's a side note.
I almost feel like in A New Hope, when Obi-Wan is talking about Luke's father, referring to Anakin, he's almost talking about stuff that happened in this movie. It feels like so. I don't know. I feel like this is like the origin story for Anakin Skywalker, like where you really get to know a lot about him. It's really his movie, and I love that.
And
I
people
don't
say
know.
that
It's
Sorry,
a
go
great,
ahead.
you're good. It's a great movie, obviously, but it's just not as, in my opinion, it's not as meaningful as Episode One or Episode Three. There's definitely a lot more
Interesting.
conflict in Episode One and Episode Three within Anakin. So, um,
I don't know if I'd agree with more conflict
I don't
in
know about more
Anakin
conflict, but
from episode 1. I would say in episode 3 there's more, but I wouldn't say there's more in episode
yeah, maybe
1.
not Episode One, but in
The
Three.
death of Coleman Trevor, the most memorable scene in all of Star Wars. Are you kidding me?
It's great. It's fantastic. Honestly, I love a lot about this movie, like the Geonosis arena and the battle droids.
It's
But
not perfect, but for the third act I think is perfect. From the Geonosian battle on is like amazing. It's incredible. The
right,
start of the Clone Wars, the Dooku battle, Anakin
yeah,
getting his hand cut
yeah.
off.
I think the build. I think what really gets me is the build up with it. Like, you kind of have to not sit through, but kind of like it takes a little bit
It's
to get
not
to the
perfect. It's
to
not
get it
perfect.
a little bit to get to
Yeah.
the really 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 good parts that, as a normal viewer, you would want to see. So
Yeah. I would say Jedi Master on Attack of the Clones.
A
That's where I'm at
second.
with it.
Yeah, I was gonna say Jedi Knight, but you guys are in Jedi Master, so
There we go. All right, now we're moving on to Solo, a Star Wars. Is that what it is? It Solo, a Star Wars
yeah,
story, or just Solo? I don't know.
something like that. Either way,
This I saw this movie maybe twice. I saw it once in theaters, and then I watched it one other time at some point. I don't hate it, but the fact that it's the Star Wars movie that I have watched the least, I think says something. I don't think it was necessary. I don't personally believe that it adds to the story of Han Solo that we see in the original trilogy. I think Lando in it was cool. I think, showing some of the, like, how Chewbacca and Han Solo met was cool. I'm kind of like, some people just outright hate this movie. I don't outright hate it, but it's not something I want to go back to. I don't care to
yeah,
watch it again.
I appreciate one thing in this movie, and the casting for the movie was not the best, but they hit a home run putting Childish Gambino as young
Yeah,
Lando.
he did really
That
good.
is a
Yeah.
perfect cast. Other than that, the rest of the like the casting for Han Solo is just not my pick. I think there's
yeah.
better picks out there, but it's not an awful movie. It's not a great movie. I wish they developed the ending with Darth Maul a little bit more. That would have been a lot more cooler than a.
See, that was cool, but it felt cheap to me. It was like they just threw
Yeah,
him in there
that was
just
just
to,
a
like, for
throw in
fan
as like,
service.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, where I was getting with that was I was saying like that would have been a cooler movie to watch than this.
Yeah.
I wish they
Yeah,
did
with
that
Darth Maul.
instead.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's this story is just the parsec run, the little, it's based off one little comment that he made,
Yeah.
and so I don't
I'm
know.
gonna say I
You're
would
right.
say Youngling
You're really
probably.
right. You're really right. It didn't really need to be made. So yeah,
I
I would
think
say like
Youngling.
Youngling. I did like the female droid though. I'm a big droid guy, and I did like her. I don't know why. I thought she was pretty. She was
It
like
was
she was like a
like
droid feminist sort of thing. It was
a
really kind of funny.
droid
Yeah, droid activist. That's what it was. Really
activist.
funny.
it's funny. All right, moving on to The Force Awakens. Like, to your point, Matthew, when I saw this, I liked it. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
liked
it
it.
was.
I enjoyed it.
It was new. It wasn't. Obviously, it's not perfect in any way. It's not. It's not. Fantastic, but it's not awfully terrible. Like,
Yeah. It was a rehash of A New Hope, basically, but it played it safe. It introduced us to the characters. And although I didn't like that Rey just somehow automatically gained all these Force
right.
abilities, that was crazy. Aside from that, though, I'm like, okay, if they can steer the ship in the right direction, build off what was good in the first movie, in The Force Awakens, and tell a compelling, like, good story from here, I have faith that this trilogy could be good. But they did the complete opposite. Like you said, The Last Jedi came out. It completely negated everything that happened in The Force Awakens. And then Rise of Skywalker came out, and it did the same thing to The Last Jedi. So it's just a big mess. Again, I won't harp on this, but Disney, they've even admitted this. They did not have a story, they didn't have it planned out. They just trusted the director, J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson in this case, to come in and build off what the previous guy did and then try to fix the messes that the previous guy did. And they didn't even know who Rey's parents were until they were already in, like, the production mode of Rise of Skywalker. So it's like they had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
to handle a franchise like this that has captured the hearts and minds and of all of the millions of people who grew up with Star Wars, to treat those movies like they did is such a disgrace to the fan base of Star Wars. So I won't be repetitive on that. I just that's my general thoughts here.
I
Yeah.
It was
won't
good.
add anything to that. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
there's not much to add. For me, I didn't like how Ray just kind of came out of nowhere. Like it was it as a movie, you could tell it was very rushed. Like you could tell
Mhm.
throughout the whole film. But regardless of that, I liked Finn's character a lot.
I
Like
did too, bro.
in
They
this
set
first
him up
in
great.
this
Yeah.
first movie, Finn's
Yeah.
character is fantastic. And
Yeah.
if they would have kept going with that and just kept that going, maybe even let him, let him be the force sensitive one or something. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I think if they would have just kept expanding on that, it would have been so much better. But they just didn't.
Mhm.
They just didn't. But Finn's character is great in this movie. Poe is obviously just a Disney's copy paste version of Han Solo.
Yeah, I don't
So
like Poe.
I don't like
I liked
him
Finn.
either.
Finn and Kylo Ren were my two favorite characters in The Force Awakens. And I
Yeah,
think Kylo Ren is the best part of the sequel trilogy as a whole.
yeah,
But they did Finn so dirty after Force Awakens.
yeah.
He could have been such a
They
cool
ruined the
character.
whole character.
He has a lightsaber on the poster of the movie, bro. Like, it's
Yeah,
just,
they ruined the whole character. They made you think that he was important in the first movie, and then the second, third movie, they just made him a background character. Like it was so
Yeah.
awful. You made him hate him.
I feel so bad for like the actual actor who played Finn
Yeah.
because like that could have been so good.
John Boyega.
John Boyega. Yeah.
John Boyega.
I don't know. I would probably do for this one, maybe Youngling. It's probably I would say it's on the same like level as Solo.
I'd say Padawan probably on Force Awakens.
Yeah,
I think that's where I would put it. If I'm putting aside what happened after, I think this movie alone would be on Padawan.
I agree with that. Almost, I almost feel like that's a good ranking for it.
Yeah, I think as
It
unbiased
is
as possible.
it is a
I
little
think-
better than Solo, but I don't know by how much.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And also like Disney obviously over the past few years has wanted to represent like different cultures and diversity and stuff like that in their movies. They had a prime opportunity to make John Boyega, who's obviously like a black actor, like a natural, amazing, badass character. You know what I mean? Like they had a prime opportunity to do that. And what my issue's been in the past with that is like sometimes it just feels so forced. You know what I mean? No pun
Yeah.
intended. And this was a case where it was like they could have done it in a natural way, and it would have been incredible. It would have been amazing. They did Finn dirty. I'll just say that.
Yeah. No, because they set him up as if he would be the force sensitive one, right? And
Yeah.
then
and a lot of people wanted him to be.
that's what I wanted. And
Yeah, I
and,
did too.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really shitty, really shitty.
Instead, he had a
Yeah.
love story with Rose.
Yeah, dude, that they did him so dirty, bro. They did him so
bad.
dirty.
Did him so bad. They like realized for some reason in their brains they were like, we need romance somewhere by like the second or third movie, and so they like shoved it into almost every scene they could.
Yeah.
Those were so dumb.
It's crazy. All right, moving on to the Clone Wars movie. I'm a huge Clone Wars guy. I'm a huge fan of the series. I was not a fan of the movie, even when I watched it as a kid. I think it is a very lackluster version of what they did in the Clone Wars series. It's obviously made for children, like that's very evident, but the series did a good job of balancing the childlike elements with some elements that even an adult could enjoy. I felt like the Clone Wars movie was purely like you're not gonna enjoy this unless you're like 5 to 8, 9 years old. And I watched it when I was around that age, and I didn't like it even then. So
It was
those are my thoughts.
It was very hard for me to like keep watching the movie without like pausing it and getting distracted because you're right. It's very childlike, and it was very hard for me to like stick my attention to it, when it doesn't it's not like, one of those movies that
This movie made people hate Ahsoka. Like when this movie came out, Ahsoka was such a terrible character, and people were like, "Get rid of Ahsoka."
And in the first season of Clone Wars too, like I honestly, when I first started watching the Clone Wars again, I was like, dude, I honestly hate Ahsoka. Like she's so pretentious, she's so annoying, and like, I hated her.
But now she's one of my at least top 10 favorite Star Wars characters of all time.
Let me
They
stop.
they course corrected.
And just say that Zero the Hutt's in this movie, therefore it should be in Chosen One.
It's true, and Rada as well.
That's right. We have a lot of Hutts in this movie.
This is a Hutt.
Zero the Hutt. Listen, I'll have a contrary opinion to you, Rami. I think this movie was not good enough to grace the presence of Zero the Hutt. So that's what I'll say.
Honestly, you might be
I'll
right.
say Zero
Might be
was
right.
misplaced. I think
Might be
Zero was
right.
misplaced.
Yeah, it was very hard for me to like continue watching this in like one session, if that makes sense. Just because,
Yeah.
you know, I
I'm
couldn't.
youngling on it. I'll just throw my take
Yeah,
out there.
just throw it out there, youngling. Just throw it out there.
I'll third that. Honestly, that's a good
Yeah.
spot for it.
All right, moving on to Return of the Jedi, the final film in the original trilogy. What do you guys think here?
Beginning
Mm,
to end, probably
mm.
one of my favorite movies. And because you kind of see like Luke turn into like a Jedi Knight, right? He's doing some really badass shit, just doing whatever he wants to Jabba. Really, kind of he like
Yeah.
leads him right into a trap, and everything goes right, and he gets his friends back, and everything's cool. And he's like, "Well, there's only one thing left. I need to save my father," and that's like I
Oh.
just love almost everything about this movie.
Yeah, if you don't remember like almost every frame of that last scene with him, him and Vader, then oh my god,
Yeah.
then you haven't watched it right. Like it's
Yeah.
such a that there's so many good scenes. Like this is one of those movies that will consistently every watch give me chills just because
Yeah.
of how legendary and like how beautiful a lot of the moments are.
Yeah, and I think that there's I don't know, people don't like the Ewoks. I like the Ewoks
I
personally.
love Ewoks. They're some of my favorite. They're one of my favorites in the whole
I'm
thing.
not a big Ewok guy. I'm not a big Endor guy. I think that's the only lull in the movie for me. But aside from that, I think it's just about perfect.
It is
Every time it gets to the Endor stuff, I just want to skip. I just want to like
Oh
skip through.
no, I love the Endor stuff. It's so nice. It's so nice.
Yeah.
it's
And
one
it's
of
so
the most
visually appealing too. Like
it's one of the most perfect endings you could ever ask for. Like
Which is why The Last Jedi is one of the worst movies ever made, by the way, too.
yeah.
Because it is.
Yeah.
It's a perfect ending. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's restorative. It's redemptive. It's hopeful. It's perfect. The ending is absolutely perfect. I think the last sequence, dude, I literally just thought about John Williams' score and I got chills. Whenever they're fighting and Darth Vader is like, "Sister, you have a sister." And then Luke like gets pissed off and pulls his lightsaber out and like screams and charges at him. The music that's playing during that scene, bro, I literally have chills thinking about it right now. That's how powerful that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
It's such a powerful moment.
what gives me chills every time is the scene with him and Vader, and they're about to be taken or whatever to Palpatine,
Yeah.
oh man, when they're talking,
On
that
Endor,
just that one, that back and forth that they have together is so beautiful. Like I get chills every single time.
Yeah.
It's so nice.
I think my favorite scene is, well, I have a few scenes that y'all haven't mentioned. Whenever the Emperor's like electrocuting Luke and he's just like standing there looking back and
Yeah,
forth.
that's a great
Oh,
moment.
It's like,
that's that's
whoa.
another
I think
chills and
that,
boost.
like, I think another really cool scene too is like Luke is the only one at Vader's funeral, like the only person there, and
Yeah.
to me
Yeah.
that just shows everything about Luke. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
it just shows everything about Luke. It's like Leia knew that was her father at that point. She could have gone, but she didn't, and he did, and it's kind of beautiful that he did that.
It's just
Also,
it's such a legendary like ending. Like
I
I
think
don't know
It
if
is. Yeah.
like you said, Jake, it's perfect. I don't know if it can get any better than that.
I
I
don't
will
think so.
say this plot hole though. I've never thought about this. I think he's just burning the armor because he was a Force ghost, and there's no body because they disappear. Anyways, that's besides the point.
I've never really thought
I
about
think
that.
he's just
To be
burning the
honest.
armor. But anyways, cool.
I don't know.
No, like
Uh,
like I was saying, you can't get a perfect ending than that. Like people still
Yeah.
talk about it, like Like even in the Mandalorian, when like people are like, "It's a
I
Jedi,"
honestly,
and he came back, they're like, "That's the guy that went in the room with Palpatine and Vader and left alone." So like, it's
that's
so
the
crazy.
Luke we should have gotten in the sequel trilogy. And to be honest, like I'm literally sitting here, I've been thinking about it while we're talking about this. I don't know if there's a better ending to any movie ever, in my opinion. I think this is probably the greatest movie, like the greatest ending of all time
Yeah,
in a
honestly,
film.
it because it comes full circle.
Yeah,
And it ties in so well with the prequels with him being the chosen one. It's so perfect. It's so
yeah. I am again, I love this movie, but the indoor stuff for me it drags a bit, and
Oh
so
wow.
I
I would
I
chosen one it, I think.
Chosen
that's
one.
that's such a big part of the movie too that it pulls it slightly to Jedi Master in my opinion. But
I'm gonna be chosen one on this one.
Yeah, I'm chosen one on this one because like
okay,
the Endor stuff I love. I love the Ewoks, the Force ghosts at the end there. Oh, it's so
I love
amazing.
the
yeah,
scene with
I could keep
C-3PO
going.
as like a god.
Yes, C-3PO is the butt, and they have the stormtrooper helmets as for drums. That shit is so fire.
Hoover,
Yeah.
Hoover.
They
Okay,
must
yeah,
think I'm
that's
some
fine.
kind
So
of
good.
god.
We'll tell them to let us down or let us go, whatever Han Solo says. And then the Jabba stuff, that stuff's amazing too on the
Also,
sailboat and all
Max
that.
Rebo's in the
Oh,
movie, so
That's right, yeah.
and he
And that's where we
survived.
get the epic. That's where we get the one-hit wonder
Yeah,
too.
that's also where Max Rebo
Yeah,
survived a huge explosion somehow.
that's right. That is right. All right, moving on to A New Hope. This is what started it all. If you really think about what this did for cinema, what this did for the industry of movies, it's actually insane. There's some behind the scenes documentaries about it, and like the miniature sets, and like for the time, the fact that they pulled off such a feat here, the fact that George Lucas pulled off what he did at this time point. Yeah, I think this is 1977 when this
Mm.
came out, and so you really consider that it's incredible. That being said, I think it's the worst from the original trilogy. I think Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back are both better, but that's not to say I don't love this movie because I do. I just think it was, the budget was lower. That's very clear. Um, Also, just as far as the story is concerned, it doesn't advance as much as the other ones do. I guess is the maybe the best way to try to explain what I'm saying. But it's great.
Uh,
I don't know. This one starts at all. I really I like I like the way that they introduce the characters. It feels
Yeah,
very very fresh. Almost every time you watch it too. It's like it's one of those that was done so well that it's just the fluidity and the flow of the movie is like almost perfect. The fact that you could just sit there and play this movie and almost
yeah.
like it's almost a hard time to pause it. You know what I mean? Because it just moves so like I said,
I'm
introducing
Jedi
characters and
Master, by
whatnot.
the way. I said I might have sounded kind of like low on it, but it's just out of the three original trilogy movies, which are all amazing, this one I would put third, but I would still put it on Jedi Master.
this is the movie in Star Wars that just rounds itself off beginning to end with a cute little bow on top. It's like a perfectly wrapped gift. It is the start of it all. It is a beautiful movie.
I mean, it also ends really well too. Like we say that it's the start of everything, but it all ends really, really well.
That's what I'm saying. It's a perfectly wrapped gift. The start of it all, meaning all of this, like all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and, like if it, what I mean is like if it wasn't as successful as it was, like, and it was just a standalone movie, like it still ends fine.
Totally.
Like
Yeah,
of
No, I,
course
that's fair.
of course, like when you see a movie like this, of course you're going to be begging for more and wanting to see more of the story, but the story ends nicely here, so it's a full concrete good movie. all the way around.
I think so too.
Jedi Master.
Yeah, I would Jedi
I'm
Master
Jedi
it.
Master.
I would Jedi
I'm Jedi
Master it.
Master for sure. All right, moving on to Revenge of the Sith. This is my
This is
personal favorite Star Wars movie of all time, and quite possibly might be my favorite movie of all time. I'm not saying it is the best movie ever made, as far as like from a technical director standpoint, but as far as my personal enjoyment goes, I have watched Revenge of the Sith more than any other movie. I go back to it more than any other movie. I think about it more than any other movie. I love it. I absolutely love it. I'll hold off on more comments. I want to hear what you guys think here.
I think this one is probably the most memorable Star Wars movie from start to finish. All of the moments are so interesting.
The most memorable movie. I agree with that. There's like not one story sequence that I probably couldn't name off right now that just happens in that movie.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Opening sequence with the getting to Palpatine, right, in the ships,
Mm-hmm.
and then it transitions into going back to Coruscant. Like I could sit here and talk about it. Like I know
Right.
it is so
Like I was gonna say, I could go into specifics about this movie, but I would sit here and it would take up all the rest of our time. Like this movie has so many perfect,
for
like
sure.
like I said, memorable parts that I could just list off one by one by one by one. Like I said, go through the entire movie because it's that memorable. I love it. It's insane. I think one of my favorites is just like the favorite part of the whole movie is just like the revealing of like Palpatine and whatnot, you know, just so fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Oh, the Order 66 sequence, just the reveal to with Mason, the Palpatine's arrest, you know, like come on, everything is just so like through and through. Like I said, I could go on and on and on, but it's just so like I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like interesting and just keeps you there, you know.
It's captivating.
Captivating. It's so captivating. You just
Well, you
can't
have
look
the
away.
Sith hood on.
Any second you cannot look away, you know. So
Yeah, this was the movie of my childhood. I remember my mom picked my brother and I up from school early. I think I was in 3rd grade at the time, and she took us to see it, and that was the best like theater experience that I've ever had in my entire life. From the start of the movie, from the freaking like them, finding Palpatine, Anakin, the duality that's represented between him with Dooku's lightsaber and his lightsaber, like from the start, like he freaking beheads Count Dooku. Like we forget about that sometimes. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And Palpatine's just his manipulation and his just straight up just evil nature that he operates in. He's so intelligent and he's so smart and he's so in tune with the dark side of the Force that he literally deceived the entire Jedi Council, not only the entire Jedi Council, but the entire Republic. Like no one saw him coming. You know what I mean? Even the Jedi couldn't sense his power and his ability. And I'm actually reading the Plagueis novel right now, and even that like shows how far off he was. I could talk about this movie for hours.
Yeah, well, I could just keep going and going and going and going.
So we haven't talked about the Mustafar battle.
I was gonna
also
say
the scene with Anakin and Palpatine when he's talking about Darth Plagueis, like that scene.
Yeah.
And even from a psychological standpoint, like people say Anakin's turn was rushed. Like if you really pay attention to what happened in the Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith, if there's any way you think that his turn to the dark side was rushed, you got to keep in mind, like, the love of his life is potentially going to die. She is his top priority in life, right? He thinks he has a way.
He's not supposed to even be with her. He's not even supposed to have her.
Right, but he thinks there's a way to save her. The Jedi they've always been kind of an ass to him. You know what I mean? The Clone Wars obviously builds upon that, but even Clone Wars aside, like, it makes total sense.
Like everybody in the council didn't even want him there, and he saw it.
Yeah.
He saw it. He saw it with his own eyes. He didn't. Everybody in the council didn't want him there, and so
And they asked him to spy on the one person he trusts too.
Exactly. And then one of the most earliest things he does is murder a whole village of Tuscans. Like,
his mom dies in his arms. He gets taken from his mom as a kid. Like it's just
as
crazy.
if it was rushed. Like that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
He was a slave. He was born a slave. Like,
the best comparison I've seen is that Qui-Gon was his father, or was his father figure, and then when he died, Obi-Wan was supposed to be that father figure, but he was the brother figure, and Palpatine was the father figure.
Mm-hmm.
I think Dave Filoni talked about how that worked. Like the duel of the fates was the duel of the fates of the child, and like Qui-Gon would have probably prevented him from ever turning. Obi-Wan, like exactly what you just said. It's really cool to think about that. But anyways, Revenge of the Sith, chosen one. I think it's one of the greatest movies ever. Yeah. So, all right, again, we could do a full episode just talking about some of these. But
what's the next one? Right. Is this the
Rise of Skywalker?
We could just get this out of the way now and just say sand, because there's a lot to get into about why this movie is.
There is, yeah.
I am all the shit.
Like this is one. I am all the Sith. 13,000 ships.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Somehow Palpatine returned.
Okay.
Yeah.
They fly now. Dude, I hate that shit, bro. I hate that
Jake,
shit.
I got some post-production for you. Blur these out.
Yeah, it's so dog shit. Such a dog shit movie. All of the like the knife in the ruins of the Death Star.
Yeah, it's somehow that. Bro. Dude,
oh my!
You're gonna give me fire.
Like I wanted to, like when I rewatched Star Wars like a year or two ago, and I was like, you know what? I'll throw the sequels in there. I'll just watch them. Just so I can have more to watch. I got to this movie and I'm like, God, man, when does it end? Like, and this is like to bring up a previous point. They just throw romance into this where it doesn't belong. Like they're just throwing in people kissing and people loving each other. Like
Rey and Kylo Ren kiss. Did I dream that, or did that happen?
No. So no, you're right. At the very end of the movie, it was like Kylo dies, or no. Rey dies. Kylo saves him, and then she's dead,
kiss,
and
right?
then it's like they reverse, and then they like kiss. It one of those times to like do the Force, save each other from life or whatever. It's bullshit. It's so dumb. They tried to do. There was
never any romantic moments between them at all before that.
No. The thing is, they had a Force dyad, which is a cool concept. I will say that is a cool concept. If you go to the Wikipedia and you read up on it, it's genuinely like a cool concept. But they just did so shittily with it that they didn't even really know what it was themselves. They just made them a couple at the end. Yeah. It was so infuriating to watch this movie. And then at the very end, the biggest complaint that I have, and I've told you guys this before, the fact that she says, "I'm Rey Skywalker," it's just so dumb. It's so dumb. There's no other way to put it, because it would have been more poetic if she would have just said she's Rey Palpatine, because she was the one that killed Palpatine. Redeem the Palpatine name. It would have been so much. Like, I hate this movie.
I do too. Yeah.
So
I don't hate it as much as The Last Jedi, just because of how much The Last Jedi like destroyed the character of Luke. But this one's right down there with it. In my opinion.
I will say the only good part of this movie is
Claude.
Is Dio. It's the little droid with.
What about Claude?
Babu
Frick, yeah, but just the Glupshitos. That's it, and the droids. I like the droids.
Oh shit! Cloud's in this movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, the Glupshitos and the droids. Those are the only good parts of this movie.
Kylo, I need you to make me another Death Star.
Are we putting this one in sand?
Yes.
Yes, sand it.
All right. Moving on to Rogue One. What do you guys think about this one?
Best Disney movie.
Yeah, this is the best, like, good. When I first watched it, I didn't like the ending. And then the more I thought about it and the more that it, like, the more that I like that it sat with me.
What part of the ending?
Just everybody dying, every
Oh,
character dying. I didn't like.
I was gonna say Vader in the hallway. You talking about that
Oh,
ending?
absolutely not. That's amazing. No, I didn't like. I just didn't like all the characters dying. I didn't like all the characters
Oh,
getting killed off. I
fair.
thought that was like, I don't know, that was upsetting to me at first, and I didn't like it. But as it sat with me more, I realized it was more poetic that way. Like if everybody would have lived, then it wouldn't have been as good of a movie. So in
Yeah.
that way, I had to like.
It was a sacrifice. It was a
Right,
real
right,
sacrifice
right.
from that entire crew of characters. And I love the I'm the Force and the Force is with me, that character,
Oh,
the
that
blind
guy's
dude.
amazing. That guy's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's the best Disney Star Wars movie by far, I think.
I think one of my favorite things about, and this might be one of very hot take here, but one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars is just seeing Darth Vader go absolutely crazy in that hallway. And the rebel troopers are not like sitting there like trying to get away. They're like, we're f***ed. We're done.
Yeah.
We are
They
cooked.
accept it.
And like it sends chills down my spine.
It's genuinely one of the best like Sith scenes ever done because you as the viewer are a little scared, And I feel like that you need to have that feeling every time you see like a powerful Sith on screen. So
Right. Yeah,
It's-
pure
it's
terror.
amazing.
I
Yeah,
remember watching that in theaters, and I was just shocked by that.
Yeah.
And even the scene with him on his castle, like with Director Krennic showing up.
Cool.
That
Oh,
scene is really
so
cool too.
good.
It shows him
Aspirations.
yeah. It shows the Bacta tank, like Anakin coming
So
out of the
sick.
Bacta tank and stuff too.
so
Yeah,
sick.
it's really cool.
Yeah, no, Rogue One, and it's so visually like they did so nice, with
Yeah.
like the I could go on, whatever.
Saw Gerrera.
Yeah,
All
Saw
of the
Gerrera,
characters are cool.
everything. K2SO.
What do y'all think about this one?
I'm thinking
As
Chosen
far as-
One.
I'm not chosen
I
one. I don't
don't
think it
think it's.
belongs
I
up
don't
there.
think it's Chosen One. It's not there.
I would say Master is fine. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, Jedi Master. What I like about this movie is there is a lot of uncomfortable parts, but you can't look away. Like when K2SO is dying, and like the
Mhm.
Force is with me guy is about to die. Like it leaves you like your booty hole clenched, and you're just like, I cannot look away, bro. I cannot look away.
Yeah.
You know?
And dude, it adds to A New Hope. I never thought that would be possible for a movie to come
I didn't
out
think
that
so
would
either.
add to that. But it leads literally right into it. Like literally, the Tantive 4 is there at the end, and you could literally just watch them together. And
It's such an
See,
intense movie. I love it. I love it.
Watching Andor and then watching this movie, it's like it feels so good watching it.
I have been hearing that people who are finishing Andor are watching Rogue One, and apparently it's almost it's perfect. So I don't know. I haven't done that yet.
we'll have to rank all this series soon too.
Yeah. So
All right, moving on to episode 1, The Phantom Menace. This is personally, again, I love the prequels. I absolutely love all of them.
Love this movie.
And I love Darth Maul. He's one of my favorite characters. Qui-Gon
Agreed.
is actually my favorite Jedi of all time. But this is my least favorite prequel.
I second that.
Really?
Yeah.
I love this movie.
Now,
I
don't get me
absolutely
wrong. I
love this
do
movie.
like this movie, but I feel like there's like some things that just kind of stagger on way too long in this movie that it kind of like Jar Jar is almost I like Jar Jar, but like come on, dude, you're like doing the most unbearable shit through half the movie. You're a dumbass. And I get it. He's a dumbass. It's who he's supposed to be, but
Jar Jar is nice. Jar Jar is a great addition to the movie because it adds that comedic part of it that you don't really see throughout the rest of the movie. Like the rest of the movie is really serious in tone, and having Jar Jar and like C-3PO or I guess not C-3PO, but having Jar Jar in that way, like is I don't know. In a way, it makes it to where children can watch it better, And
but also like A
more.
New Hope, like that was a relatively serious movie, and I think C-3PO and R2 were enough to keep it like lighthearted.
Yeah.
enough,
Yeah,
But then again, in the Phantom Menace, like C-3PO is barely in it, and R2's not in it
right.
much,
That's
so.
what I'm saying. That's where
Yeah.
Jar Jar kind of takes up that mantle as like, you know, the one.
I don't hate Jar Jar as much as most people, but I do think
I
it was a little overdone.
honestly like him. Like in a story like this, not
It's
everything
fine.
needs
Yeah, he's fine.
not everything needs to be 100% serious, and you need to have like we need to be able to see. I don't know. I feel like it's important to see like different sides of the universe in that way, where there's like dumb creatures every now and you know that you know.
I like
After rewatching them all, like it definitely drug out more. Like I was, it because I rewatched them recently. This was the one where I was kind of like I wanted to almost skip through certain scenes, like on Naboo, and like there's certain parts of the movie that just drag a little bit. That's the best way I can explain it. Like obviously you have the start of the movie's great, the pod race is great, the Darth Maul Duel of the Fates is amazing, is incredible. But everything in between there is like it's good, but it's not as amazing as a lot of the other stuff we see.
I will say I am a
I
big
mean,
fan of Watto.
Watto is great. This is one of those that I love so much because of the diversity. You know, like it has the Jar Jar, it has the Watto, like the pod race itself is insane. Like I love a lot. I mean, you see Jabba there at the pod race. Like I don't know. There's a lot of
There's a lot of world building.
there's a lot of world building in this one
Yeah.
that they went with, and I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
Boss Nash.
Boss Nash is amazing, dude. I've been thinking about getting like a custom figure of him. Oh, I love him. I love him. I love this movie, honestly. I love it. And then this is the movie where, you know, we learn Anakin's the chosen one, and you know, he's a product of the Force. Stuff like that. I don't know. I could go on, but
Where would y'all put it?
The Naboo think we so stupid. We so think Naboo
I would
stupid.
say if it's not Jedi Master, then definitely the Jedi Knight. It's not.
I would say
lower than
Jedi Knight. I would say Jedi
But
Knight.
dude,
I
the
would say
Darth
too.
Maul is like one of my favorite Sith.
Yeah, but he's in
So
it for
it's
like
like-
5 minutes. He's
That's
in
what
it
I'm
for like
saying.
5,
That's
7
what I was
minutes.
gonna go. I was gonna say like if he was just more of the movie, like if they would have put more of him in there,
Yeah.
like if we would have just seen more of Darth Maul in these movies as a whole instead of the few seconds that we did see him in the few like 2 minutes or whatever, dude, this movie would be. I think it would be a lot better, a lot better.
Yeah.
He's just such an interesting Sith, you know. He's one of the more interesting ones, you know.
And he's also really, when you think about it, he's one of the main reasons besides Palpatine that Anakin ended up turning, because he killed Qui-Gon.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So, yeah, I love it. I just think Jedi Knight's fair. I think it
Darth
belongs
Maul
there.
tried to kill Anakin in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Season
Yeah.
I'm not
it's
there
true.
yet.
Oh,
You'll see.
We'll
He
see.
just spoiled it.
We'll see. We'll see.
He doesn't succeed. I'll just say that.
yeah, I think he did.
Well done.
I know. That was the joke.
There's a
Dude,
lot of
Anakin.
episodes. There's a lot of episodes on. I don't know why I'm saying this on this pod. Probably should wait till the end. But there's a lot of episodes on Clone Wars where I'm like watching, and it's like, we're gonna go kill General Grievous. It's like, well, you know, I know how the end of this is gonna go. I know how the end of this is gonna
there's a lot of
go.
those. All right, wrapping it up here with Empire Strikes Back. What do you guys think here?
Revolutionary for the time because this movie did not have a good ending.
Yeah, it was one of the first
Yeah.
movies that had a cliffhanger ending that was where the hero didn't win, you know.
And
Yeah.
it introduced a lot of really cool concepts. Cloud City is the coolest thing ever. And that whole just like visually, it's for the time also so beautiful. I can't believe they pulled it off. I love Cloud City. I think it's the coolest thing and concept ever. Like in Star Wars. In almost
And we get
it's so cool.
Hoth, we get Dagobah,
Yeah.
we get Cloud City.
I was gonna say I love the Dagobah. I love the Dagobah bits. This like the, you know, like I was saying before, this is Luke showing that he's the exception to the rule. Like every Jedi trains for a few years, before they even think about finding and taking on a Sith. Well, Luke was there for 2-3 days, however long he was there for, and, went directly to the smoke. You know what I mean? So, like I said, this is one of those movies that really proves like Luke is a character.
Yeah, and Yoda was telling him not to.
Yeah, Yoda was telling him no, but Luke wanted that smoke, dude. Luke wanted the smoke. He said, "I have to." He said, "I have to."
Dude, imagine like we see this as kids, right? But imagine being in the theaters and seeing Luke like face Vader for the first time.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Man.
Because in the previous movie, he just saw Vader for a few seconds as he killed Obi-Wan, right? So it's like that build up to that battle happening between them, and that fight is just incredible too. Like Han Solo getting frozen in carbonite. The movie ends with him frozen in carbonite, dude. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I will say,
it's just crazy.
I'd be pissed to watch this movie when it came out and then to wait for the next one. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think also probably the greatest like gotcha moments in cinema history is Vader revealing that he is Luke's father. That is the most jaw-dropping scene ever at the time.
Yeah, everybody knows that scene. Anybody who knows Star Wars that has never seen the movie knows that scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm chosen one on Empire Strikes Back as well.
I
think it's perfect.
I second that.
It's my favorite of the original. It's my favorite of the original trilogy. So
I second that.
Yeah, there's not really anything I can hate on it, so I'm gonna have to go with chosen one. Luke loses his hand. I love that.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's amazing.
I love a good little bit of violence
it's
on Luke.
Poetic, just like Anakin lost his hand. Like,
that's right.
It's true.
I think this is a valid list. I think we were for the most part on the same page here, which is, I kind of assumed we would be. Yeah, I think this looks good. I'm not upset about it. Obviously, there are going to be some people who watch this who have a completely different opinion than us, and that's fine. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your opinion. Let us know how you would have ranked these, and I'm curious to hear what you think and why. Give us a reason why, and yeah, I think this was fun. I think this was cool.
This was a good time, boys. I enjoyed this.
Yeah, it was good. And soon we will do a video ranking the series too, like all of the Disney Plus stuff and the Clone Wars, and I think that's what you guys just pulled off there is a perfect way to end it. So we'll wrap it up. All right, guys, Star Wars Podcast signing out.
Round of applause for Jake for keeping character there. Whoa, that was
staying in character there, man.
I saw it in my peripheral, and I was just gonna let it play out. But anyways, yeah, subscribe to the channel, like the video. If you made it to the end of this video, I assume you're like a day one or you're someone who watches our content. Like, it helps so much when you share these videos. We all have a lot going on in our kind of daily lives, and so the fact that you show up to we really have to carve out time to do this, and so we really appreciate it if you're hanging around, if you're watching, and a like goes a long way, subscribe goes a long way, sharing it with your friends goes a long way. So I'll get off my soapbox there, but anyways, we will see you guys next time. Star Wars Podcast signing out. Peace.